Hi there, my name is Matt. I'm a Pilates instructor here at Chipping Norton Physio, and I'm here today to take you through the main section. This is for a beginner/intermediate level with some combination moves. We finished the warm-up with myself in 4-point kneeling, so we're going to start from that position. Remember, 4-point kneeling, hands under shoulders, knees under hips, keeping those knees hip-width distance and tops toes resting on the floor. Nice flat back, resting a tray of drinks upon. We're going to turn this position into supine, so lying on our backs in neutral. Have a little cushion or thin towel to rest your head on. Okay. Lie on our backs in supine, we can set ourselves up in a neutral posture still. We will have feet flat and evenly loaded on the floor, knees bent, pelvis in neutral. Just to check whether we are or not, we squash our lower back into the floor, tilting the pelvis backwards. If I arch my back towards the ceiling, I tilt my pelvis forwards. Those are my two extremes of movement. I work backwards and forwards between those two extremes, finding a middle ground with just enough space between my lower back and the mat to hold a grate on its end. Too high, I roll away. Too flat, I squash. Once that pelvis is neutral, I'm going to engage my core. The space between the bony parts of my hip and below my tummy button, just like we did in standing, tightening that belt by 2 to 3 notches, activating through that lower abdominal area at about 30%. Springs can still be working from the lower ribs to the hips, reducing that risk of flaring out and up with my rib cage, and also arching my lower back. Collarbones are going to float out to the side, shoulder blades melting into the ground, hands resting out casually to the side. Keep that neck nice and long, no constraint, now pulling you across the floor, and again, that orange hand gently under the chin. We're going to start with a level 1 leg stretch. We're going to take a breath in to prepare, and we exhale. We slide the heel along the floor, inhale to return. Alternate onto the other side, making sure I'm opening up the hip on that moving leg, keeping the pelvis strong, square and stable. Breathe out as the foot slides away. Breathe in as it returns. Wonderful. We're going to move into hip twist, level 1. Keeping one foot pinned to the floor and my stationary leg the knee pointing to the ceiling. I breath in to prepare, exhale. This one leg floats out to the side, keeping the opposite buttock glute tack to the floor. Inhale to return. Swap to the other side. Exhale, inhale to return. Stationary leg, knee stays pointed to the ceiling, opposite buttock glute tack to the ground. One more on each side. Okay, just going to work you through the scissor complex, level 1, level 2 and level 3. So level 1 is a single leg tabletop. Breath in to prepare. I float with one leg into tabletop, hip and knee at 90 degrees, thigh vertical, shin horizontal, ankle nice and relaxed. Hold for a breath in and then exhale to lower that to the floor. Swap to the other side. Breath out, breath in to hold, out to lower. All the while keeping that core engaged, making sure my pelvis is strong, square and stable. Two more on each side. Last one. Going to work a level 2 tabletop, so that's double tabletop. We're going to need the springs to overactivate a little bit here, and when we exhale, we're going to move one leg at a time. Breath in to prepare, exhale, float one up, lock those springs down, continue to breathe out, bring the second leg into tabletop. Hold for breath in with those knees and feet hip width apart. Exhale, lower one, and 2. Breath into prep, exhale. Hold for breath in, exhale. Two more. Finally, level 3. So this is a toe tap exercise. So we float one leg at the tabletop, take a short breath in on the exhale, we swap the feet over. Short breath, exhale. Two more on each leg. And lower that foot back down to the floor. All the while making sure those extra spring attention is helping to help keep the pelvis a lot strong, square and stable. Just going to give that lower back a bit of a stretch. So bring the arms out wide to the side, making a T-shape through the shoulder girdle. Bring the knees together. Allow the knees to turn to one side, one foot piggyback on the other. And when those knees turn to one side, the head turns the other way. Making sure I allow my shoulder on the opposite side to remain glute tack. So I'm looking over my right shoulder stays pinned to the floor. Hold that position for at least one breath cycle, that's a breath in and out. And on the exhale, bring the legs over to the other side. One more on each side. Bring yourself back to the middle. Set yourself up in neutral again, so just make sure feet are hip width apart and we're not doing anything with our lower back that's causing us to put some stretch through the air that we don't need to. We're going to do a level 2 leg stretch. That's a combination of level 1 scissor and the leg stretch exercise. Keeping those springs working a little bit harder this time, and that's pelvis strong, square and stable. We take a breath into prep, exhale, float that leg into tabletop. Hold for breath in, on the exhale, I straighten the leg, thighs parallel, knees side by side. Inhale, draw that leg back into tabletop, exhale to lower. On to the other side. Exhale, hold for breath in, exhale out, inhale, return. Exhale, lower. Two more on each side. One more on each side. Excellent. Right, we're now going to go into overhead reach, and then we're going to put those two moves together. So floating the arms up to the vertical this time. I want to reach up my fingertips as high as I can. You'll see the shoulder blades are clearing away from the floor, and then I want you to bend those arms and relax. Allow those shoulder blades to melt nice onto the ground. Keeping nice and relaxed through that shoulder girdle and across the front of the chest. Making sure my pelvis remains in neutral throughout the move. We're going to start with single overhead stretch. Breath into prep. Exhale, allow that hand to float away above the head, thumb leading the direction as we move out. Inhale, bring the hand back to start position. Palms always facing in. Exhale. Inhale. Now we're going to turn it to double overhead reach. So both arms going at the same time. Breath into prep. Exhale. Allow those hands to float away with the head. Springs can stretch and allow the ribcage to slide underneath the t-shirt, but we're not allowing the ribcage to flare out and up and our lower back to start arching more. Inhale, bring those hands back to start position. Breathe out. Breathe in. Three more to go. And now we're going to combine that double overhead reach with a level 1 leg stretch. Breath into prep. As I exhale, one foot slides away, both hands float with the head. Inhale, return everything to its start position. Exhale, the other leg slides out, both hands slide with the head. Inhale, return to start. Five more to go. Last one on each side. Now we can combine the overhead reach with a level 2 leg stretch. Breath into prep. Exhale, float one leg and sail top, hold for breath in. We exhale, extend that leg like we're trying to turn a light switch off on the far side of the room. Inhale, we bring both arms and leg back to the start position. Exhale to lower the leg. Breath prep. Exhale, other leg. Hold for breath in. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale to lower. One more on each side to go. Last one. And rest those hands back down by the side. We turn onto our sides. We're going to do some clam work. So bottom muscles, glute max, and piriformis. Turning onto my side, I have arm, head rest and head. Shoulder stacked on shoulder, hip stacked on hip. Bottoms of feet, back of pelvis and shoulder blades pressed up against that imaginary wall. My top hip is pressing down to my feet with that lower spring between the rib and hip activated a little bit more to help keep some space at the waist. Just enough space for a line of ants to go marching through. Top knee can drift slightly further forward than its partner, and both feet are resting one on top of the other and on the floor. Clam level 1 to begin. Top hand can be resting on the hip like a teapot handle, or resting on the plate on the floor like a plate of jelly. Breath in to prepare, and when we exhale, we float that top knee up towards the ceiling. Inhale to lower. Three more to go. Press those knees down. Level 2 clown. Bring both feet 6 to 8 inches from the floor. Hold for breath in. Exhale. Lower that top, raise that top knee up to the ceiling. Inhale to lower back those knees back together. Breathe out. Breathe in. All the while that top hip pressing down to the feet, space at the waist. Two more. Knees together, lower those feet to the floor. If you need to give the outside of that hip a gentle rub, please do. Going to move into a chair squat. So a chair climb, bring those knees up to the front. So we now have hip and knees at 90 degrees. And if we're looking from the ceiling down at you, it would look as if you're sitting on a chair. Keeping those feet together, we're going to attack a different part of the glute here. Again, top hip pressing down towards those feet. Keep that space at the waist. Breath into prep and exhale. Top knee floats up. Inhale to lower. Three more. Wonderful. Okay, we're going to go into a lift and lower. So, taking a cushion, I here have a large blue block. I'm going to rest my top knee on that blue block, straighten my lower leg, knee facing forwards, and my toe in point. I'm going to do lift and lower with the lower leg first. So I'm going to take a breath in. When I exhale, I'm going to bring my foot away from the floor, keep it in ballet point, and when I lower and inhale, I have the toes pointing forward like a duck foot. So it's down. Breathe out, breathe in. Pointy toe, duck foot. Two more. Wonderful. Okay, take that cushion away. We're now going to do a double lift and lower. So I'm going to bring my top leg above its partner, keeping them together. I'm going to float the top leg up to the horizontal and continue to breathe out. So in the same breath, bring the low leg up to it. Keep that pelvis pushed down to the feet so the place the waist doesn't disappear, and inhale to lower. So it's breath out, continue to breathe out and lower as we breathe in. One more. And to finish off, working on our side, we're going to do an upper leg. You can keep the bottom leg straight this time or bend it slightly to help with some balance and stability. This top leg can go as high as you want, but we still want to keep that space at the waist. So if I lift my leg too high and my waist disappears, this top hip shoots up towards my shoulders, that's not the correct form. We want to try and keep that space at the waist the whole time. So we lift, we exhale in pointy toe, inhale in duck foot. 2 and 3. Two more. Bring those knees together, give the outside of the hip a gentle rub. Just give it a little bit of stretch through that lower back area and through that bottom. Okay, we're going to turn ourselves into 4-point kneeling before we turn onto our other side. So, if you recall from the beginning of the session, 4-point kneeling, we're hands under shoulders, knees under hips, keeping ourselves nice and flat through the back and long through the neck. Making sure my feet are still my knees are still hip width apart. If I look down between my knees, I can't see my feet because they're also hip width apart. Keeping that back nice and flat, tray of drinks nice and steady. Level 1, so we're going to use the arms only. I take a breath in to prepare. As I exhale, my one hand floats away, pointing towards the room, wall across the room. Inhale, bring that hand back to its start position. And exhale. Try not to roll those shoulders as we're producing this movement. Three more in each arm. Last one in each arm. We're now going to look at level 2. So this is legs only. Again, keeping the back nice and flat. I exhale as I slide the foot away, extending through the knee. Use the bottom muscles to float the foot away from the floor. Inhale and draw that foot back to its start position. Remember to keep that back nice and flat, neck nice and long. Alternate between the two legs. Two more on each leg. Okay. If we want to take the next challenge, level 3 is a combination of the two moves. So, opposite hand and leg movement. So I take a breath in, I'm sliding my left hand away and my right leg away. And inhale to draw everything back to its start position. Exhale as everything moves out. Inhale as everything returns to its start. Keep that back nice and flat like a tray of drinks, resting gently upon it. Three more on each side. One more on each side to go. Wonderful. Grab your headrest, you're going to turn around to the side. We're going to reproduce that clam movement and complex. So as we did before, we're going to set ourselves up. Arm, headrest and head, shoulder stacked on shoulder, hip stacked on hip. Bottoms of feet, pelvis and shoulder blades up against the imaginary wall. Top hip pressing down to the feet, lower spring engaged a little bit more to help keep that space at the waist. Top hand resting on the hip, teapot handle style, or resting on the floor like you're pressing on a plate of jelly. Press too hard, you're going to sink through, but nice light finger touch there. We're going to start with the clam level 1, breath into prep. Exhale, float that top knee up to the ceiling. Inhale to lower. Level 2 clamp. Float both feet 6 to 8 inches from the floor. Breath into prep. Exhale. Top knee floats up. Inhale to lower. Three more. Knees together, feet to the floor, bend those knees, get the outside hip, gentle rub. Moving into a clamp position, chair position side. Hips and knees at 90 degrees, looking from above in that seated position. Feet resting together on the floor, and again, top hand can be resting on the hip or on the floor. Choice is yours, but keep that space at the waist. Don't let that line of ants get mashed. Taking a breath into prep. Exhale, float the top knee up. Inhale to lower. Three more. Wonderful. Okay, take your cushion or your blue block, rest your top knee on it and straighten that lower leg. Remember, lower leg straight, knee facing forwards, and we're going to start with pointy toes like a ballet dancer. Keeping that space at the waist, that lower spring is still attached and working a little bit harder. Top hand, keeping that top hip in place. We prepare by a breath in, and we exhale. Pointy toes, bring the foot away from the floor. Inhale, lower in duck foot. One more. Okay, take that resting knee away. Stack the legs one on top of the other. So we're going to do double leg. Remember, top leg comes to the horizontal. Continue to breathe out and bring the other foot up to join it, keeping that space at the waist. Inhale as we lower both legs to the floor. Three more. Last one. Okay, we're going to do top leg only. Remember, you can bend that lower leg ever so slightly to help with stability. Keep that top hand resting on the hip or on the floor, choice is yours. Top leg can float up as high as it wants, but we must keep that space at the waist. So if I lift the leg too high and my waist squashes down on the floor, I stop that line of ants marching through. I've lifted the leg too high and I've lost control. Keep control of that midsection all the way through. We use ballet and duck foot as we've done before, so breath in to prepare. Exhale in ballet, inhale in duck. Three more. Bring those knees up to the front, give the outside of the hip a gentle rub. Okay, we're just going to do a brief glute stretch to make sure we give the area that's been working quite hard a bit of reprieve. So, looking from side on, I'm resting back on my hands, both knees bent in front of me, trying to keep my back nice and neutral and the neck nice and long from the hips up. I'm going to bring one leg across, keeping my knees sticking out to the side, draw the base leg towards me, and I can also walk my hands forwards until my chest comes closer to that crossing leg. I'm going to feel the stretch coming through the glute and the piriformis, through the crossing leg buttock. Hold that position, take a couple of settling breaths, allowing that muscle to relax as we hold in a stretch position. So we can slide that foot away, walk those hands back to release that pressure through that muscle, bring the foot down, cross the other leg over, draw the heel in, walk the hands forwards, keep yourself nice and tall through that back and neck, and move that chest towards that crossing leg. Again, feeling the stretch through the glutes and piriformis. Slide that heel away. Going to repeat that glute stretch on the first leg, just to make us see the difference now, and see if we can increase that range of movement and put a little more stretch through that area. Should feel easier the second time. Slide that foot away, walk those hands back. And then return to that second leg. Again, the glute stretch should feel a little bit easier this time. Slide that foot away, walk those hands back. Okay, we're going to turn ourselves onto 4-point kneeling and then return ourselves up into standing via one roll up. So the opposite of what we've done at the beginning of the session, or at the end of that warm-up session. Into 4-point kneeling. Hands on the shoulders, knees under hips, keeping that back nice and flat. Toes tucked under this time, rather than tops of the feet touching the floor. Tuck those toes under, but keep those feet hip width apart. We're going to walk the hands back to the knees. Load through the hands, float the knees away from the floor, and continue to walk the hands back. Pause in that low hang position. I'm just going to move myself forward so I'll stay reasonably in the middle of the screen. In that low hang position with the feet evenly loaded through the arch of the foot, I take a breath in, and when I exhale, I tuck that tailbone under, work my way back up and standing, stacking one bone at a time, all the way up, until I'm in my tall, neutral position. Feet hip width apart and evenly loaded. Knees soft on the floor. Core engaged, springs attached with that pelvis in a nice neutral position. Collarbones floating apart, shoulder blades drawn down and back, hands resting by the sides of the legs. Keeping a nice tall neck, pinnacle strengthening tall from the crown of the head, orange heart gently under the chin. While stood in your nice tall neutral position, I would take a few settling breaths. Feeling through the feet, transfer that weight forwards and backwards, just if we're not quite sure that we're stood in a neutral posture. Each settling breath, feeling at ease with that position that you're maintaining. Thank you for your time today. Please do feel free to look at any of the other videos on the Chipping Norton Physiotherapy YouTube channel. We are advertising and promoting as many different Pilates classes as possible. We look forward to seeing you again soon. Thank you very much.